Hi, collective. This is Tan. Just checking the audio to make sure it's working. It is working, but I have my headphones on. I heard myself. Okay. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. I don't know why the Bluetooth is still on. Oh, it's 222 right now. 222. Okay. Just to make sure I'm being heard. Everyone's having a good day so far. Okay, perfect. Gotta put a little bit of music on for myself. I'm trying a different orientation with this. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a good day. If you're watching live or during the replay, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with me, at least a portion of it. I just put some music on right now. I hope everybody's doing well. I keep repeating myself, but I truly do. Hope everyone's well. Okay, so I did a live earlier this morning before I started work. Let's see what comes out. I have these Oracle cards that give advice. I just want to get them shuffled. I haven't used them for a while. I want to see what the current energy is, any messages you need to know at this time. That's for your highest and greatest good. It could be whenever you're seeing this. It could be if you're watching during the live. After the replay, whenever you come across it, whenever you feel curious to watch. Abundance came out. That's interesting. I wasn't going to take any cards now, but one came out. Abundance. You're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it, to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step toward receiving. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. I think abundance has been a common occurrence in recent readings of mine lately, but you kind of had to touch on the ways that we can open ourselves up to abundance, whatever abundance it is that we want, that we're searching for. But, I want to go into the dead inside deck to see what could be certain blockages. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Abundance is around the corner. It's interesting to say that because Sagittarius season is coming up soon. Scorpio season is wrapping up. It ends on the 21st, which is, I believe it's on, I think Friday. And then 22nd Saturday is Sagittarius season. So what messages the collective needs to know? Well, maybe certain blockages, certain interferences in their life that is blocking abundance from entering into their life. Wow, doomscrolling at 3 a.m., insomnia, internet spiral, anxiety loop. So some of you probably are not getting enough sleep, and you may be spending a little too much time, having a bit too much time on the screen. Toxic but familiar, pattern, attachment, comfort, and pain. Okay. And invited but not wanted, exclusion, misfit, emotional distance. Oops, double booked. This card reminds me of the Five of Pentacles, someone feeling left out, someone feeling lonely, not wanted. But it's interesting. I lately, that's like my phrase. That's interesting. So I'm looking at this doom scrolling. someone is like continuing, and this could be you if you're wanting abundance, but you know, we're looking at blockages. Some of you may be spending a little bit too much time watching other people live their life, a little too much time watching other people do the things that they want to do, you know, or even believing that stuff that you see, you know. But this is escapism at its finest. This is the epitome of escapism. You know, staying online, scrolling, you know, looking at what everybody else is doing, even possibly allowing yourself to be afraid because of the things that you are seeing, because it says breaking news. Maybe some of you are like looking for some specific news that may be relevant to you, or you're being affected by the news that you're I don't want to say experiencing, but the news that you're basically subjecting yourself to, you know. For me, there's just a lot of bad news around me, you know. So, and it's ironic that I'm using the dead inside deck when that's not how I feel inside at all, you know. But that may be something that you guys are feeling, you know. Maybe some of you are discontent with your life, and you may be constantly looking at what other people are doing, maybe looking at a lot of negative things, but you may be so used to being in negativity. Like, it's like negativity is your comfort zone. I mean, Scorpio season, baby, right? There's just a lot of negativity, you know? And I'm not saying Scorpios are negative, but we're familiar with it. We can be at home with it. But I think sometimes some of us can be a little bit too comfortable in the toxicity. And if you're very comfortable in that, how are you going to bring any sort of abundance? I mean, you could get an abundance of bullshit if that's what you want, you know, because abundance can come in any form. It could come in good things or bad things, you know. It could be everything you want or everything that you despise. Shopping to feel something. So it's definitely like, it's a form of escapism. Like, maybe some of you are engaging in shopaholic tendencies, trying to fill a void, trying to fill a hole inside of you. You know, maybe that's what you're doing at 3 a.m. You know, you're just scrolling through TikTok, looking at shit to buy, you know, or like Instagram or Amazon or wherever you like to buy stuff. It could be that. But it's like you're doing everything you can to avoid fixing what needs to be fixed, you know? It's like inside, you may feel like this, but you're putting this facade on the outside. So just, that's crazy. Shopping to feel something. People shop like that. I've been guilty of that. I mean, I just bought these new tarot decks. I bought some cards recently. Do I need them? No. Okay, one card came out. We have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like with the doom scrolling at 3 a.m., I feel like some of you may be just distracting yourself from something that may be, I mean, and look at the current state of affairs in the US. And I'm talking as if my viewers are from the US. And even anybody watching the news. You see, like, all the terrible news that we hear. I mean, there are good things going on, but it's like all the negativity is taking precedence. It's taking over all the good stuff. And this, like I mentioned in a reading I did earlier today, or was it yesterday, that sometimes they're showing us everything that we should be afraid of, but it's kind of creating blockages to what it is that we truly want for ourselves, you know? So if you're like someone who wants love, and I'll say that I'm pulling myself out there because it's the fact that, and then it just connected the dots, the brain cells connected, the neurons are synapsing. I'm not a neurologist anyway, but what I was going to say is that, like, see, I'm someone who would like to be in a relationship, right? But of course, I'm going to wait for the right person. And if I want to be in a relationship, it's like if I go online, I'm going to only see stuff about relationships, right? But I'm also going to see stuff that makes me scared of being in a relationship. Like, oh, this is the new way to cheat. Oh, like this person is following, if they follow these people, then that means they're cheating. Well, I have my idea of what cheating is, but, oh, third party situations, this, third party situations, that, cheating, open relationships, all that, like all the negative stuff, the things that kind of make me afraid, that would make me afraid of being in a relationship, is all I'm going to see. So it's like if you wanted to start a business and then you see a bunch of businesses closing down, you're seeing how hard the economy is, how people are not buying things, that they're going to Amazon to buy stuff and they're going to Walmart and they're not going to shop small. And, that kind of, it's like these types of things are kind of they're going to deter us from like having a positive mindset about the things that we want, that we would like to have in our lives. But I think it's a matter of redirecting your focus on what matters, what the material world. And I mean, not like in this, because this is digital, like the news, all that stuff, that's someone's reality. It's not ours, because we hear stuff about other people, what other people are going through, but it's not what we're going through. So why should we be afraid of something that we're not going through? Tanya, this is something for you too. So with the Eight of Pentacles is like, stop focusing on the things that don't matter. Remember, Pentacles are about matter, material, 3D world, but also the reality. In reality, you're not going through all the horrible shit that you see on the news, so don't be afraid of it. Focus on what it is you want. Focus your intention on the things that you want to see abundance in. Six of Cups. It can also be that some of you may be focused on the past, focusing on past relationships, focusing on past situations. And it's time for you to be more present, With this falling under toxic but familiar, it's like some of you may be comfortable in your past pain. You find comfort in the pain because it's probably all you know. But if that's the case, some of you need to move on from the past, learn the lessons, because the past teaches us lessons. We learn from the past. If we don't, history continues to repeat itself. And we see that throughout history, throughout human history, even through our own personal life history. If you don't learn the lesson, you're going to learn someday. Maybe you'll never learn, and you just stay on this perpetual hamster wheel, repeating the same old shit, same old patterns, never changing, never progressing, never evolving, never growing. Invited but not wanted. I said that card reminds me of the Five of Pentacles, someone feeling left out. There may be somebody feeling that way. We have the Seven of Cups. I think this could be something that's in your head, something that illusions that you created for yourself. But let's confirm, because we have the Seven of Cups coming out, and that has to do with illusions. Like I mentioned, some people are familiar and comfortable with negativity. So maybe in the past, when we have the Six of Cups, maybe in the past you felt like you were left out, like you weren't wanted or included. And I have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is all about feelings. So maybe you're creating these illusions for yourself or believing things that aren't necessarily true, and it's causing you to have these emotional reactions. It may be a sore subject for you if you've experienced that. Maybe in the past you were bullied, you were left out, like you were the last person called to play a sport or to be in a team. But sometimes if you're in this like toxic, like if you're like very familiar with toxicity and you're very comfortable in that, you can permeate that, and that can be turning people off, And if you're negative, constantly in this negative mind frame, and I'm not saying to be fake positive, but if you're always in this gloom and doom energy, I don't think anybody wants to be around that. And if they do, it's because they resonate with that energy. See, we have the Fool. This is about new beginning, starting over, starting fresh. Stepping out of your comfort zone. So maybe some of you just need to step out of what's familiar to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be toxic, but it could just be you putting yourself in this place in a bubble. You could be putting yourself in a bubble. But then in a way, it's like you're putting yourself in a bubble, then you're like, I feel left out, because you're leaving yourself out. You are creating this bubble around yourself, and you may be ready to burst that bubble. Maybe some of you, Two of Swords, but we have the Seven of Cups and the Two of Swords. This is about mental confusion. So you need to decide on something. You really need to go within and decide what path you want to take. If you are having this invited but not wanted energy, you got to look at what you're doing on your end that may not be inviting, connection with other people, if that's something that you're thinking about. Or even if it's like partnerships with you wanting to work with other people to get something started, to launch something. Like people want to work with people who show passion and drive. And if that's something that you're lacking, then nobody's going to want to work with you, because like they say in love too, you don't want a partner who is a liability. You want someone who's an asset. And if you're in this negative energy, you're a liability, because we're going to be like, say if we're in a team dynamic and you're constantly in your feelings and stuff, how am I going to be able to rely on you if you're allowing your feelings to interfere with what needs to be done, what needs to be built? There has to be groundedness. There has to be clarity. There has to be optimism too, because whenever you're working towards something, you want to have hope that things can turn out the way you envision it for whatever it is you want to do. It could be with you creating a small business, even you working and collaborating with other people on a project, even in a relationship or friendships, and when you connect with other people, create and forge bonds with other people. Some of you could be, like I said, some of you may be in a bubble. You may be putting yourself in a bubble, and you need to release yourself from that, because as long as you have this bubble around you, you're not only going to keep yourself trap yourself in that bubble, but you're also going to keep things out. And how can abundance get to you if it doesn't have a pathway to you? Like the card says in abundance, the abundance card says, you're being asked to open to receive abundance. Believe that you're deserving of it, and believe that it will flow to you. This is the first step toward receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on its way. So if you are having a pessimistic mindset about something, especially when it comes to something that you want, like if you're saying, oh, I want this, but that will never happen, or there's not enough of that, that of course, you're negating your own manifestation. You're negating your wish. You're getting in your own way. Sometimes you got to be a little delulu to get what you want. I mean, there's a way to be delulu without being completely a fool, without being a pendejo. Oh, well, it's funny because I finished shuffling, and then the bottom of the deck has Justice. This is about you balancing out. So if some of you are having issues with your head and heart, then you're going to have to figure out how to reunite, what do you need to reconcile within yourself so that your heart and your mind are in the same mind frame. Because one thing is going to overtake the other, and the results can be disastrous. And like the card says, disaster right there. Some of you may be getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. Insomnia, internet spiral, anxiety loop. So whatever the blockage could be, it could be anxiety. Maybe you're not getting enough rest. But it doesn't help if you are on your phone at 3 a.m., then that doesn't really help. There's ways to, and supplements and treatments that can help with getting people to have a nice sleep pattern or a sleep schedule and allow them to be well rested. But, another thing I wanted to say was that too, that maybe some of you are distracting yourself with work as well. You could be distracting yourself with the past. You could be also distracting yourself with work. Work is like a perfect distraction. You get paid to escape your reality, but you have a job to do, You want to think like that. So with the balance card being at the bottom of the deck, along with the shopping to feel something, some of you really need to hone in on your spending. You need to create a budget if necessary to make sure that you're not going to end up in a deficit. When I split the deck, I see the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe some of you, now that I'm saying that, maybe some of you are worried about finances too. Because it says abundance. And it has a pot of, I like to think it's a pot of gold. And I mentioned the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's that with that. So that's with the dead inside deck. Put that deck away. So I would say, just be careful with your spending. Be careful with how you're spending your money. Make sure that you're spending it on something that is worth the investment. And it's on things that you need, but don't I'm not saying don't buy stuff that you want, but just be more responsible. That could also be a message for me too, because I just came back from a trip, Last week I came back from a trip, Okay. I wish I brought more cards with me. Let me see. I think I have a little bit more time. Okay, I have a little bit more time. Yeah, so I feel like with the full energy that coming out, I feel like it's about you taking, remembering, not letting things get to you so much. Don't let, try to look at things from a positive mind frame and look at every day as a new beginning. That's like the easiest thing. And I posted this video with a monk talking about every day is a day. You should choose to be happy every day by day. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about yesterday. Think about today, the present moment, because this is where life is. Life is in this moment right now. Because the next minute, the next hour, the next day isn't promised. So be present. Okay, I'm gonna put this card back. Let's see what else comes out with these oracle cards. This card came out soar. You're being asked to stop dimming your own light, period. It's time for you to come out of the shadows and let your authentic self soar. Fly high, dear one. And it's so, the synchronicities. If you saw my live this morning before I went to work, one of the cards talked about, I even mentioned this, like dimming your own light, not, being comfortable in the darkness and not wanting to be seen, not wanting to be recognized. Maybe some of you are reaching this point where you need to allow yourself to be seen and recognized. Allow people to, it says to let your authentic self soar. And one of the cards was show the world the real you. Show the world the real you. You have to be proud of who you are in order to do that, So if there's parts of you that you're not happy with, then that shows you those are the areas of your life that you need to work on. But that doesn't mean there aren't other parts of you that aren't valued, you know, that you should hide, because maybe there's parts of you that you need to be seen, you know. And we're not talking about body parts. We're talking about, like, you know, your light, what you have to offer. Okay. We have the High Priestess. Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Strength. With the Six of Pentacles. High Priestess. This is about going within and trusting your intuition, trusting the inner guidance that you receive, knowing the secrets, knowing the truth, knowing the secrets about yourself, acknowledging the secrets, appreciating those parts of yourself that you keep hidden, you know. The High Priestess is someone who knows secrets, someone who is comfortable in the darkness. Maybe if you're going to, you need to take, like, I keep saying this, take stock, take stock. The Seven of Pentacles is looking at your life. It's looking at your investments, looking at everything that you put your time, effort, and energy towards, and seeing and reflecting on the results, reflecting on whether it's something that brings you happiness. Does it bring you sadness? Are you going towards your wish fulfillment? Or is there still more things for you to learn? But with the Strength card coming out, I'm going to show you the card so you can see what I'm talking about. You have the High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, and the Strength card. So the Strength card is about overcoming your fears, taming your anxieties, transforming the way you're transforming yourself, because I see butterflies. This is about you transforming aspects of yourself. Maybe some of you are doing shadow work, and now you're seeing the brilliance of yourself. Some of you may have Leo in your chart. Leo is the sun energy. You can have sun, moon, rising, and High Priestess is the moon card. Essentially, like, it's Cancer or Pisces energy. Six of Pentacles is about balance of reciprocity. You're looking at how you've given to things that you care about, things given to people, how people have shared, invested in you, how you have shared and invested in others. Has it been reciprocal? Is it something that you have to consider walking away from? Is it something that will bring you peace? If, you know, like, if you're not happy with where your life is, what are you willing to do to go towards what is? What are you walking away from? What are you moving towards? Hopefully it's happiness, but that's day by day. Hopefully it's peace, but that's something that you have to work on, create within yourself. It's interesting. I see the Hierophant card too, with Justice and the Fool. Wow. The Hierophant and the High Priestess, they're like, I would say, like, they're divine counterparts. It's the masculine and feminine energy. Remember, the High Priestess, she receives information. She receives secrets. She knows secrets. The Hierophant is one who connects with Source. You know, they connect with Source in different ways, but it's like the Hierophant is more like from the earth to Source, and then the feminine energy is the Source to the High Priestess, to earth, you know. So, and we have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, and then we have Justice. We see scales. It's about balance. Balance and harmony, finding balance and harmony, going towards balance and harmony. We have the heart, your emotions, balancing your heart, and the feather represents air, and air is thoughts, ideas, beliefs. Maybe some of you are struggling with what you believe in, your belief system. Or you're trying to find a way to balance like a spiritual practice with reality. You want to be hopeful and optimistic, but you also want to be grounded and realistic. But sometimes you got to be a little bit delulu, you know? And the delulu is not so much where you're deluding yourself into believing something that is impossible, but it's more like believing that anything you want, anything that you desire is possible, you know, that there isn't anything that's going to block you, only yourself. You're the only person that's going to chain yourself to the ground. You know, you're the only person that's going to allow yourself to soar. And we're talking about people who are not trapped in situations that they cannot get out of. We're talking about people who have free will. They're not in abusive relationships where they're living in fear. Maybe this is something too. Maybe some of you need to find a way to break free. And now I'm thinking about the song, Time to Break Free. Some of you need to release yourself. You need to free yourself. Free yourself from limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs. That's the Hierophant, you know. Belief systems, structures, rules, things that kind of restrict us, you know. And the Fool, he's someone, it's like you got to let those shackles fall away, you know. But it's a matter of you finding that within yourself in whatever way it resonates with you. But you really need to, it seems like someone needs to face their fears, tame their demons, find their confidence, overcome their insecurities, respect, definitely respect. Somebody's pride could be getting in the way because the Strength card is typically with lions, but we also have wolves here. So this could be about how you're connecting with other people, the bonds that you forge, because wolves, they travel in packs. So this could be something about you and your community. You're connecting with your community, you know, finding freedom within a community. No, that was very philosophical. I don't know, lately I feel like I am a very philosophical person, you know. What I find, I'm trying to find another word. My thesaurus, I need another word for interesting. Oh, I'm trying to find another word. I can't right now. I can't. Okay. So I feel like this reading is a little bit weird. A little bit weird. So let me just give an advice card. An advice card to close out this reading. One card that came out, allow. You're being asked to open your energy field and take down your walls of protection in order to allow goodness into your life. Sometimes without even realizing it, we block ourselves from the flow of life. It's safe to open yourself up. It's safe to open yourself back up. Connect. You're being asked to connect with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways. See, connect with people. And I mentioned that, connecting with others. So that may be something that you need to work on. Anything else? I could get one more card. That's a lot of cards. I'll take the two that were facing up. Wait, I think another one was facing up. Let me see. Open up. You mean as to open your heart to another, let down your walls and trust that they want what's best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. We keep getting cards about opening yourself up, you know, putting down the walls. And miracles, you're being asked to pay extra close attention to all the big and small miracles that have already occurred in your life. And also to those that are currently occurring and are still to come. Miracles surround you. Be on the lookout for them. So we had abundance, we had open up, we had connect, we had allow, you know. This is all internal, you know. This is all internal. This is why I love Oracle and Tarot card readings, you know. I hope these messages resonate with someone out there. If they do, please like, share, and subscribe to Artemis Oracle. My name is Tan, and I'm your reader, and I'm wishing you a great day ahead. Bye. I'm trying to find out. Bye.